In Dragon Ball Z, Goku is known for his incredible strength and fighting skills, which he uses to battle a variety of villains. If Goku were to successfully kill a villain, it would depend on the specific circumstances and the nature of the villain. If the villain was a truly evil character who posed a significant threat to the safety and well-being of Goku's friends and the world, then killing them might be seen as a necessary act of self-defense or defense of others. In this case, Goku may feel justified in his actions and may not face any consequences for killing the villain. However, if the villain was not an immediate threat and killing them was not necessary, then Goku may face moral and ethical consequences for his actions. Goku is known for his strong sense of justice and compassion, and he would likely feel conflicted about taking a life unnecessarily. Additionally, killing a villain may have repercussions in terms of the storyline and character development. Many of the villains in Dragon Ball Z have complex backstories and motivations, and their deaths may have ripple effects on the other characters and the overall plot. Ultimately, the decision to kill a villain would depend on the specific circumstances and the values of the characters involved. To expand further, it's important to note that Dragon Ball Z is a complex and nuanced story with many different characters and plotlines. Each character has their own set of beliefs, values, and motivations that drive their actions, and the consequences of those actions can have far-reaching effects. In some cases, killing a villain may be seen as a heroic act, especially if the villain poses an immediate threat to innocent lives. Goku and his friends often find themselves in situations where they must fight to protect the world from powerful and dangerous enemies, and in those situations, killing the villain may be the only way to ensure the safety of everyone involved. On the other hand, some villains in Dragon Ball Z are more sympathetic and complex, with motivations that are not purely evil. In these cases, killing the villain may be seen as a more morally ambiguous act, and could lead to a more complicated storyline with consequences for the characters involved. Ultimately, the decision to kill a villain in Dragon Ball Z would depend on a variety of factors, including the nature of the villain, the motivations of the characters involved, and the larger themes and messages of the story. The show's creators would likely take these factors into consideration when deciding how to handle a particular villain, and the outcome could have a significant impact on the overall narrative of the series. In addition to the moral and ethical implications of killing a villain, there are also practical considerations to take into account in the world of Dragon Ball Z. For example, in the Dragon Ball universe, there are Dragon Balls that can be used to grant wishes, including the ability to revive the dead. This means that even if a character is killed, there may be a way to bring them back to life. However, the use of the Dragon Balls is not without consequences, and characters may need to weigh the potential benefits of using them against the potential risks. Another practical consideration is the effect that killing a villain could have on the power dynamics of the Dragon Ball universe. In Dragon Ball Z, characters gain power through training and fighting, and defeating a powerful opponent can lead to significant power-ups. If a character were to kill a villain, they would effectively eliminate a potential source of power, which could have a significant impact on the balance of power in the world. Furthermore, in Dragon Ball Z, there are often political considerations to take into account. Villains may have alliances with other powerful figures, and killing a villain could have diplomatic repercussions that the characters would need to deal with. Additionally, characters may need to consider the impact that killing a villain could have on their reputation and standing in the eyes of other characters in the world. Overall, the decision to kill a villain in Dragon Ball Z is not a simple one, and would depend on a variety of factors. While there are certainly cases where killing a villain could be seen as a heroic act, there are also cases where it could have moral, practical, and political consequences that characters would need to consider carefully. Another aspect to consider is the emotional toll that killing a villain could have on the characters. Throughout the series, Goku and his friends are shown to have deep compassion for others and a strong sense of morality. Killing a villain, especially one who may have a sympathetic backstory or motivations, could have a profound effect on their psyche and could lead to feelings of guilt or remorse. Additionally, the act of killing a villain could have repercussions for the relationships between characters. If one character kills a villain and another character disagrees with their actions, it could create tension and conflict between them. This could potentially lead to a rift in their friendship or even result in a physical fight. Furthermore, killing a villain could also have an impact on the development of the character who performs the act. If a character has always been portrayed as a hero who values life and seeks to avoid violence whenever possible, killing a villain could be a significant deviation from their established character. This could lead to a shift in their values and beliefs, and could even change the way they interact with other characters in the future. Finally, it's worth noting that the Dragon Ball Z franchise has explored the theme of redemption extensively throughout its history. Many of the villains in the series have been shown to have the potential for redemption, and some have even been brought back as allies of Goku and his friends. This means that killing a villain could potentially prevent them from having the opportunity to redeem themselves and become a positive force in the world. In summary, the decision to kill a villain in Dragon Ball Z is a complex one that has numerous moral, emotional, practical, and political considerations. It's a decision that would need to be carefully weighed by the characters involved, and the consequences of their actions could have far-reaching effects on the world and its inhabitants.